I'm getting the sunrise in the Milky Way. My mom started bringing me up here when I was 9 or 10 years old. So that would have been around 82 or 83. When I was a kid, my parents, they were always taking pictures of things. Took photography in high school a long time ago, and I've always kind of taken pictures.
I guess I'm lucky because I'm in a spot where I can get some good shots while I'm at work. Get tired of everybody fighting each other on Facebook and everything else. So I just put pictures of mountains and stars and waterfalls.
There's a lot of cool things to take pictures of up here, especially at night, that nobody else gets to see. I don't know about you guys, but my fingers are getting cold. Yeah. Probably need to jump back in and start working a little bit. We have to have her done by 8:30. We're at White Pass, doing some grooming in the Cascades. In the wintertime, my job is to keep track of all the snow. Early season, I make it. The rest of the winter, it's maintaining the mountain. I think currently there's around 140 inches on the ground. But yeah, there shouldn't be a shortage of water this year. We always try and have a good relationship with nature. The kids and I are in the mountains always. We're always fishing and hiking and backpacking, biking.
We like the snow. We like to have fun. I hope that we don't ruin it and take it away so a lot of other people can get out there and enjoy it.
I hope you don't mind that I'm going to take photos too while I'm walking. Growing up, my grandfather was really into like National Geographic magazine, seeing pictures of grizzly bears in, Alaska catching salmon in their mouth. That concept like blew me away. I was like a nerdy animal kid. And then as I got older, I realized that, you can't just protect animals, you have to protect the whole ecosystem. So Washington Wild is a conservation nonprofit that specializes in advocacy, protecting and defending lands around the state of Washington. We've been around for over 40 years now. I manage the Brewshed Alliance, which is a group of around 70 craft brewers, maltsters, hop growers, pubs around the state of Washington that all come together around the idea that in order to have good beer, you need clean, safe water. We also do a lot of collaboration beers with breweries, and then those are supported by our great partners like YCH that have donated hops to these charity collaboration beers. The cleaner the water is, the easier it is for a brewery to brew beer. Water security is going to get harder and harder. So it's really important that we really secure these resources now and make sure that we have these really strong legislative protections on rivers so that in 20 years when that resource is a little more scarce, that's protected because what happens up here in the mountains, it affects everyone from here to the sound.
My name is Kevin Scribner and I work with Salmon Safe, but also I'm an Alaska fisherman. This is what gets me to allow me to look like one. So there's that phrase, you are what you eat. I am a salmon. Salmon have been really good to me, so that gives me an opportunity to get back to the salmon. With Salmon Safe, we have an internal guiding mission, which is mountains to ocean. When you get the headwaters, they come from the mountains and then they come down in the interior Columbia Basin, a very arid area. And then when it comes down through the lower elevations where the farms are, to be able to retain that quality, that clarity, and then also the coolness, that's where working with the growers really comes into play. They're playing the hop plants like a piano, just giving it the right amount of water they need to be able to have the production they need, not wasting water. When water is precious, you'll use it with precision. To have that water come down and used in a balanced way by growers, so there's water for fish and water for products, and particularly great products like beer, Yakima's a primary for doing this.
Across the basin, you've got about 500,000 irrigated acres, one of the most heavily irrigated places in the world. Total crop value with processing is approaching $4.5 billion. In some years, the Wenatchee part of the basin, they get a little bit more snow than we do, and that makes a big difference because they don't have the storage capacity that we have here. We've got about I want to say roughly a third of a year's runoff capacity. In other parts of the country, they might have storage for several years. It's pretty significant for our growers to have a predictable water supply in water short years. And so as a result, the Rosa District has been on a very aggressive water conservation program since 1983. Most years we pipe 8 to 12 miles of canal, and we've reduced our water usage by about 20% over that period. We're always preparing for the next drought. We're always looking several droughts down the road. We don't know how long those droughts are going to last, and we don't know how bad they're going to be. We have to continue to relentlessly prepare during the good years to be ready for the water short years.
Just like every other crop grown in the Yakima Valley, hops are reliant on Mother Nature. We are in a high desert here and rely on irrigation water from the Cascade Mountains. You know, it's no coincidence that some of the best beer in the United States is brewed in the Pacific Northwest. Big beer cities, Seattle, Portland, Hood River, those types of areas that have a lot of really great beer, it's because they have really great water.
Water quality is the most important thing. Beer is over 90% water. So if you don't start with a good, high quality, clean water, you're never gonna get a beer that tastes the way you want it to taste. We like to say on our side, no hops, no beer, but it's really no water, no beer. Like if you don't have water, then you cannot make beer. It's important to not only Bale Breaker, but Loftus Ranch is our hop farm because both of our family businesses are so tied to water. And if we don't have a consistent water supply and a clean water supply, everything we do as a family that's been going on since 1932, we wouldn't be able to do. Our friends down in like Southern Oregon and California where they're experiencing extreme drought are really hurting. And so having that snowpack and water supply for us is paramount.
So just in the last 4 years, we've had 8 out of the top 10 largest wildfires in California history. And we've also had 6 of the top 10 most destructive wildfires in our history. It's all related, it's all tied together, water and a changing climate and drier conditions and more fuels. It's incredibly important to have suppliers and vendors and partners that are on the same page, that share the same values, and that understand kind of that broader and longer term view that it takes for everyone to work together to overcome these challenges. And Yakima Chief Hops is definitely one of those partners. They do understand how everything is connected.
It is extremely important for us to take advantage of what we have and utilize that to its best potential. And at YCH, we're doing that at the farm level by drawing only precise amounts of water that we need for the crop year. In our facilities, we're being conscientious and measuring our water consumption each year. And we've got corporate goals to reduce water consumption by around 20% annually. We're well on the mark to do so. But we're also working with organizations who are focused on water conservation and water stewardship. Not only is the snow great to have fun on, but it's also of vital importance for all sorts of industries throughout the Pacific Northwest.
Our focus on continuous improvement is a core part of our culture. The snowpack is vital for irrigation, for agriculture, but it's also a tremendous amount of fun.
The last drought winter we had, this lady said, this has been a great winter because I've been able to drive to Seattle and over the passes and never had to worry about snow. And she looked at me and said, sorry, Kevin, I'm not a skier. And I go, that's okay, but you really should hope for some snow up there. She says, because of the fruit and agricultural interests. And I go, well, we're not in that either. I said, if you live in Yakima, you're in that. And if you eat, you're in that. And if you want to have a beer occasionally or a glass of wine, you're involved in that. And she kind of paused for a second and she said, you're absolutely right. No one wants to see dirty water. It's important to everyone. And I think everyone would agree. Some of this divisiveness just has to stop because we're all really on the same team.
Protecting wilderness areas is, not a partisan issue. Like, we all love these places, we all care about them, and we really have to find ways to come together to preserve these places for our kids and our grandkids and generations to come.
Sustainability means just to keep something going. And so for us as a company, that's what we're aiming to do for as long as possible. But at a more global and human level, I personally feel that everyone has a responsibility to meet the needs of the current generation without jeopardizing the ability of future generations to do the same.
it's going to become increasingly difficult to secure top quality farmland. So we really got to take care of the stuff we have now. And for us as farmers, we want to maintain the land. We want to be here not just for 5 years, but for 5 more generations.
The reason photography is so cool is that it captures the beauty of a moment in time. We'll never know what this land will look like in the future unless we take care of it. So at the very least, we'll have these photographs. All I can hope is that these mountains remain the source of life to the valleys below.